Well, good afternoon. Pastor Greg here from Faith Lutheran Church. On my midweek check-in with you, just catch up, say hi, let you know we're still thinking about you and praying for you and all those other good things as we move on through the week in our lives. Of course, for us up north here, we've had a pretty mild winter so far, and so this last weekend we kind of got our winter on, so to speak. We have below zero temperatures and some good strong wind chills in the low 20s and things like mid 20s. That's minus 20s for you folks who are um, um, in the south. So it's all right. We're all good. We can stay safe. We stay warm. And we just make sure we wear plenty of clothes when we go outside. It's not that big of a deal. Any case, worship this week is a little different. We are hosting again the Boy Scout Sunday, which we've been doing for as long as I've been here, that I remember anyway. I don't. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't remember how many years we've been doing it. In any case, that's the way that we're moving forward. So they kind of drive that worship service. We still do communion and we still do prayers and those kind of things, but they have skits and they select the music and so forth. So it's good. It's a good opportunity for the young men in that program to be reminded of how important their relationship with the Lord is, and that's kind of what we focus on. So that's where we are with that. Wednesday evening Bible school has continued, and we do continue for everyone from 4 years old all the way up through senior high. Do join us. There's always a meal at 6:30. That meal is very basic meal. It is served as far as the plates are served by the leaders, and that's another opportunity for other people to participate in that program is to provide that meal. Now, again, when we say to provide the meal, that's all you have to do. If you can make that meal and drop it off at the church or have someone pick it up for you, we can do that. You don't need to be here to serve it unless that's what you want to do. And that's perfectly fine. We are grateful for any help that you can give if you feel that you can give in that way. So, again, we're looking forward, looking for that. If you can help, that's great. Other things that are coming up, Lent is just around the corner. Just like Webb's, there's a sign up for the meals on our serving island in the kitchen. We also have a sign up for lilies for Easter, because that is just around the corner. Lent starts with Ash Wednesday on February 17th. We are doing an Ash Wednesday service. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I need to work out some of the kinks. We'll be glad to have you. We'll do the usual things, I think. I'm just not sure exactly how that'll play out, like I said. So do put that on your calendar. Do plan on it coming. I believe it's at 6:30. Don't quote me on that. I'll give you a better time when the time as we get closer to it. And I don't think there's going to be any Wednesday evening Bible school that evening, but don't quote me on that either. It's what our normal process is. But we've missed so much school this year that maybe continuing on would be an all right thing. So. That's kind of where we are with what's going on here. The state mask mandate has been lifted. There is no mask mandate here in Wells County or in Harvey. So we're as always, if you show up and you wear a mask, that's perfectly fine. If you choose not to wear a mask, that's perfectly fine too. So that's I think really where we are. We're going to continue with the individual communion cups for just a little bit longer anyway. I don't know how much longer that will be. Again, with the numbers as low as they are, our hope is always to move back to the more normal as best as we can. So, I guess I'm going to just say that's what I got to say about that. As always, you can email me, contact me, call me, text me. I'll reply to any questions or concerns you have in any of those things. So, now I'm not preaching on the texts this week. I'm going to pick a separate text, and I think I'm picking something out of Matthew, probably about light and the focus of the light and the importance of Boy Scouts as young men to let that light shine from them. So that's kind of where I am with my thoughts on that. I haven't formulated it, but just so we stay consistent. If you take a look at the Mark text for Sunday that we aren't going to read, but certainly you can look at it. Mark 1, verses 21 through 28. This is where Jesus heals a man with an unclean spirit. And Jesus does this on the Sabbath, our Sunday Sabbath. I'm not going to argue with that. The fact is he worked on a day he wasn't supposed to work. So that alone is a terrible thing for him to have done. So he's teaching in this synagogue. It's not like he's just somebody who walked in the back and said, "Oh, I'm going to heal this." But he's actually teaching in the synagogue that day. And so when this man, the question is, first of all, a man with an unclean spirit comes to the synagogue is kind of odd in itself. But as we look at that, it would be what Mark wants to tell us. I told you on Sunday that Mark's an importance gospel. In other words, everything's immediate, everything's now, everything has to happen. I think most of the immediates are in Mark of the whole New Testament. Like 90% of them or something like that. I have the number written down somewhere, not handy. So in any case, it's just that is the way it is. So we got Jesus working on the Sabbath by removing the unclean spirit. The unclean spirit knows who Jesus is. That's an interesting dynamic unto itself. The evil spirits seem to always know who Jesus is. And so that makes me think, as I'm thinking here, do you know who Jesus is? And I think that's what part of what Mark's trying to get us to remember is, do we know who Jesus is? And then the evil spirits say, what have you, and I love the plural and the singular in this, it's kind of a fun thing, but what have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? And, what have you to do with us? We should be asking the same thing. What would you have? What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Well, the evil spirit, of course, we don't want the evil spirit. That's certainly not where we want to. And we could talk a little bit about evil in the world. And there is evil in the world. And I know that a lot of people want to say there isn't, and that we're all in control of our own actions and all of these things. But when you take a step back and you look at what happens around this world, there are definite evil tendencies of people. Not something they plan to do necessarily, but something they do. Evil in mass shootings. I always see that in there. This is, there's no focus, there's no purpose for it. It's just done, and it just is. It's not something that I can't grasp, but I do believe there's evil lurking in there, and there's evil in people all over. I don't. That's such a downer thing. Let's move on. This idea that Jesus identifies this man with an unclean spirit. The spirit identifies who Jesus is, and then Jesus removes the spirit, the evil spirit, from the man. And the people are amazed. They're amazed that Jesus has done this. And then they say, "What is this? A new teaching with authority." So he's not just teaching, but his teaching can remove evil spirits from people. So we can be assured then that in our own lives that Jesus can remove the sinfulness of ours when we cry out to Jesus and saying, "What have you to do with me? after I've done all of these bad things? Well, Jesus will say, I'll take those bad things from you and I will push them away and I will call you to follow me. So that's where I am. Just my initial thoughts in this Mark text that I'm not going to preach on Sunday. But then again, who knows? The last verse of this particular text, though, is that at once his fame spread everywhere throughout all the surrounding region of Galilee. And it makes me wonder, do we allow the work that Jesus is doing through us to become famous throughout all of the region? So something to think about. Something to think about. That's what I got to say. Prayers this week. Well, as always, I think we just need to continue to pray for our virus numbers to continue to go down. We're very low right now. There's so few people in the hospital, relatively speaking, with it. And, certainly, our emergency room are not filled with them at this point. But we do need to pray for those who have and still get COVID. Pray for those who receive the vaccine. Pray for those who are overseeing all the care of all the people. Pray for all of the healthcare workers. And just pray for all of the other things that start up. Schools, churches, all of these things are starting back up. They're opening up. Restaurants are opening up more than they were. And so just pray for all of that to just stay constant and steady, and that the economy can get back to normal, or more normal, and people can get back to work. That's really what we need to pray for this week. So do that for me. Do that for yourself. Do that for the Lord, and do it for others. Wonderful thoughts. So I'm going to let you go. Blessings to you on this beautiful day of sub-zero temperatures and even some more sub-zero wind chills. But be blessed on a day like today, because you're blessed by the Lord every day, because you are His. So blessings to you, and as always, do take care until we come together again.